Classic Sport with Blaupunkt.
First match between Newcastle United and Fulham takes Malcolm McDonald back to St James's Park.
Malcolm McDonald, scorer of over 100 goals in 5 years as Newcastle centre-forward, is back as manager of promoted Fulham. Tremendous ovation for Super Mac.
Later we shall see a fine game between two so-called unfashionable First Division teams, Stoke City and Brighton, and that means a young man, Mark Chamberlain.
But he gets it back. Oh! What an incredible sequence.
Well, let's join the second biggest crowd of the day at St James's Park, Newcastle, for a match with plenty of special reasons to whet the appetite. Not the least being that while both seek to regain First Division status, Newcastle have chosen to speculate on established superstars, while Fulham have tried everything except spending money. Your commentator, John Motson.
The day Tyneside's two most recent football folk heroes meet at St James's Park. Malcolm McDonald, scorer of over 100 goals in 5 years as Newcastle centre-forward, is back as manager of promoted Fulham. Tremendous ovation for Super Mac. And his former England colleague Kevin Keegan, with 7 goals in 10 games since he arrived on Tyneside, has to compete today for the affection of the Geordie supporters with the famous figure of Malcolm McDonald. What has Malcolm said to his Fulham team about how to stop Keegan?
We will try and deny Kevin the ball, because once Kevin's got the ball, it's very difficult to stop the lad. So really we've got to be looking to stop the ball from going, and that means doing a lot of work a long way away from Kevin. And if we can do that effectively, then perhaps we can frustrate the Newcastle side. And of course, Kevin can't be any danger when we've got the ball.
Keegan figures in an unchanged Newcastle side who've had 3 good away results. It's a big day for number 10 Terry McDermott, number 11 David McCreary and number 2 John Anderson, who all make their home debuts. McDermott has done that once before, earlier in his career of course. And Fulham's last 8 matches have produced a total of 38 goals, 23 for and 15 against. They too are unchanged. Gordon Davis, their top scorer at number 7, has 8 goals, 1 more than Keegan. Fulham in a red strip today, playing in the first half from left to right, and there's a short back pass straight away, and Jerry Payton had to come right to the 18-yard line to stop the onrushing Imre Varadi, who scored 5 goals in the last 5 games for Newcastle. Jeff Clark came on a free transfer from nearby Sunderland, fitted in very well indeed into this Newcastle defence. Carney, McCreary, Saunders, Keegan's begun his run now, but he's offside. Looking for the early ball forward there, Kevin Keegan.
Come on, Leslie.
Saunders. Todd. Oh. There's too much weight on that. From Kevin Todd. Ten minutes gone here. Fulham pressing forward, but it was a misplaced pass from Lewington. Verardi. Keegan. Little flick. Todd had gone further forward than that. Brown. Houghton. Davis. Houghton was coming through. Wilson turned it on. Here's Gordon Davis. Well, what a good finish from one of the best goal scorers outside the First Division. Gordon Davis scores his 9th goal of the season. A smart, slick move by Fulham. Houghton involved. The ball laid in beautifully to the space. Davis at the angle, struck it well, in off the post. So, Malcolm MacDonald's team draw first place. And Newcastle so conscious that their best performances so far have been away from their own fans. They find themselves now a goal down at St James's Park. Gordon Davis's record, quite remarkable. 75 goals now in 172 league games for Fulham. That's some going when you think he cost £2,000 from non-league Merthyr. O'Driscoll. Credit too to a Fulham side who in their away matches this season have always looked to get forward and have not been afraid to push players on. Look at that kick from Carr and straight through to his opposite number, helped by the wind downfield. It carried to Jerry Payton from Kevin Carr. Referee this afternoon is Arthur Robinson from Manchester. Dermot. There's Keegan. And Fulham wanting to make a substitution. I think Kevin Locke is the player with the injury. Certainly lost his momentum and is hobbling across to be replaced by teenager Dale Tempest. And the interesting thing about that switch is that Tempest, although he's a forward by trade, has played left back before in the vital promotion match against Lincoln at the end of last season when he came on as a sub. But I think Malcolm MacDonald today will probably use him further forward. Houghton, Davis to his left, and Coney! What a good goal by Fulham, who go 2 up within seconds of being forced to make a substitution. And in the build-up, Coney the scorer, in the build-up, this lad Ray Houghton, signed on a free transfer from West Ham, is producing some tremendous stuff from midfield. Davis went on a little run to the left, but Houghton played the ball through, and Coney finished well via the goalkeeper to make it 2-0 to Fulham. "22 minutes gone. Dean Coney, who scored 19 goals last season, his first full year as a pro. Saunders, Martin. Carney waiting for Anderson to get forward on the right. Keegan, Verardi. Martin's coming through from midfield. And that was away by Hopkins. Well, nothing's going right for Newcastle at the moment. Hopkins. Driving one forward for Dean Coney. This could be dangerous. Gordon Davis is up with him. McDermott away. And again, Keegan is caught offside. Davis. McDermott. Berardi. Again, the wind not helping Jerry Payton. Here's O'Driscoll. Coney. Martin's tackle, McCreary. Good early ball, Berardi. Keegan. And Terry McDermott! Brilliant move. And all it needed was the finish. McDermott applauds Keegan because that was the England pair at their best. Keegan saw the possibility of getting the ball through. McDermott timed his run, got a touch, and it was just too high. But it was the best we've seen from Newcastle so far today. Saunders. Put up by Tony Gale. Here's Carney for Newcastle. Flicked by Keegan. Away by Houghton. Up goes Clark. Oh, and the volley clearance may give Dean Coney a chance. Houghton to his left. Davis. Jeff Hopkins has now gone down for Fulham. But they've got a couple of problems because it's Houghton on the ball. Good effort. What a brilliant goal from a man who's dominated the first half, Ray Houghton. A free transfer from West Ham. He's made the first two goals and he's scored the third. Picking it up in midfield, aware that the goalkeeper was off his line and lofting a shot perfectly placed into the Newcastle net for number 3. And this lad, Ray Houghton, would appear to me to be the signing of the summer. So, up to now, the Geordie supporters silenced by a very impressive Fulham performance. The confidence spreading throughout the Fulham team. And Malcolm MacDonald and Ray Harper, his coach, must be overjoyed the way things have gone so far. And the first half at St James's Park ends with the home crowd absolutely stunned. Their old favourite Malcolm MacDonald has brought Fulham here. They've earned a 3-goal lead. Davis, Coney and Houghton the scorers. And all Fulham have got to make sure is that they don't do what they did at Barnsley in their last away match and allow a 3-goal lead to develop into a 4-3 defeat. But this lad, Ray Houghton, has been the star of the first half here. And Newcastle, trying to turn the match round, have brought on substitute Kenny Wharton at half-time in place of Kevin Todd. So Newcastle, who on their last appearance on Match of the Day scored 5 goals away from home at Rotherham, have now conceded 3 at St James's Park in the first half. What can they do about it, I wonder? Attacking the Gallowgate end, they earn an early free kick. Crowd really behind them still. Anderson. Keegan is coming in, away by Brown as far as Davis. McMartin. McDermott. Pulls it back for Berardi. Martin. Away by Brown. McCreary. Appeals for handball against Carney. And that's a foul on Gordon Davis. Anderson. Martin. Good ball, Keegan. But they're staying so close to him, these Fulham players. How many of them can he shake off? Another and another. What a brilliant run, McDermott, and Keegan went over as he released the ball. He looks imploringly at the referee, who has in fact pulled play back for an offence earlier in the run and given Newcastle a free kick just outside the area. McDermott, what a save by Jerry Payton from Terry McDermott, who struck it so well. And Newcastle have made a storming start to the second half. Keegan's in there. O'Driscoll backs up for a foul. And just look at the pace at it. Oh dear. Jeff Clark getting involved. Dale Tempest involved. And the Fulham player left on the ground was Houghton. Kevin Keegan helping to calm things down. And the referee is booking the Newcastle player responsible for that. And Kenny Wharton, having just come on, has had his name taken for a little scuffle with Ray Houghton. Was Tempest. He's looking for movement further forward. Berardi. Wharton bringing Carney into it. McDermott now virtually a full-time forward. Here he is. Martin. Anderson. Berardi. Keegan. He's gone down. Penalty. A foul by Tony Gale, says the referee. Keegan wins something for Newcastle. I'm not sure he's convinced it was a penalty from his gesture, but the referee, in response to a great bellow from the Gallowgate end, has given Newcastle a penalty kick and maybe a lifeline. And Keegan, who scored from the spot at Rotherham, now against Payton, and puts Newcastle back into the match. The Fulham players still arguing among themselves. Keegan scores his 8th goal in 11 games for Newcastle. And with 62 minutes gone, we're back at 3-1. Keegan in possession in the penalty area is always a risk for defenders. And the decision went against Fulham. This is some game now. Keegan. McDermott. Berardi, McDermott, what a good save by Jerry Payton. McDermott hit it well. Payton's fingertips turned it round. Anderson. Fulham still can't get the ball away. McDermott. Saunders. Oh, in trouble now. Lewington can put Coney through. Gordon Davis pulling away to the left-hand side of the field. Houghton coming up in support. Still Dean Coney. And it's gone through the goalkeeper and Davis! 4-1. Poor Kevin Carr. Dean Coney was through, but the shot didn't have power. The goalkeeper allowed it to slither through. It was going in possibly, but Gordon Davis just got the final touch to make it 4-1 to Fulham. After 72 minutes. So 2 for Davis, 4 for Fulham. And mounting problems again now for Newcastle. 15 minutes to go. Malcolm McDonald's side lead 4-1 on his old hunting ground. He's entitled to the cigar at the moment. Saunders. Brown shepherding Keegan. And is there another penalty? Well, Roger Brown can't believe it. Whether Keegan can, I'm not too sure. The fans certainly do. The referee, Arthur Robinson, has given Newcastle United another penalty. This time against Roger Brown. Fulham baffled by the decision, but sensibly they don't argue. And Keegan now faces Payton for the second time. And Payton saves brilliantly, going the same way, Kevin Keegan, as the first one. The goalkeeper reading his intentions, and it's still 4-1. Payton away from Keegan, almost back in for Mick Martin's header. Beautifully tipped over. The goalkeeper, having excelled himself with the penalty save, is having altogether a very good afternoon. Jerry Payton. Clark is up, and Payton's there again. Ten minutes to go. Newcastle 1, Fulham 4. There's a foul by Wharton. And Imre Varadi, the player, hurt. Looks like the elbow or the shoulder in the dying minutes. So Newcastle down to 10 men to complete the tale of woe. Anderson. Houghton steps in front of him. Davis is hovering. A fine win for Fulham. Malcolm McDonald bringing his team back to St James's Park. And they've now produced, Fulham, along with their opponents, 43 goals in their last 9 matches. And they've won handsomely here. Newcastle, who we saw win so well at Rotherham, now taken to the cleaners in their own back room. Ray Houghton, a star in this Fulham performance. Keegan in the end subdued, despite scoring from a penalty and having one saved. And it was good to see the composure of the Fulham team, who didn't protest to the referee very much about the 2 penalty awards, but got on with the game, and in the end took the 3 points in convincing style.
Well, that game, a further sign that attitudes are improving, and that goes for our second game coming up now between Stoke City and Brighton. Stoke are not the first team in football history to sell stars expensively, buy wisely, put a little money in the bank and get better results, while Brighton have fought bravely to hold on to their hard-won First Division place, but still have trouble living up to the expectations of their most ambitious supporters. Your commentator, Barry Davis.
Mark Harrison makes his home debut in what are now seen to be rather curious circumstances. But his chance at Old Trafford last week and now today are the direct result of the Stoke #1 goalkeeper, Steve Fox, being an enforced spectator, serving a 2-match suspension for handling the ball outside his area and being sent off in Stoke's last league game here. In front of Harrison this afternoon, the side shows one change. David McCourtry coming in for George Berry, who's still suffering from double vision as the result of getting a knock last week. And for Mickey Thomas, it's a match against the club that he left just 3 days before the start of the season. And his old side also shows one change. It's at number 3, where Graham Pearce, who played the first 3 games of the season, returns in place of Don Shanks, who now moves down to the substitutes role. Mike Bailey, the Brighton manager, takes his seat. A happy-looking Arnold Challoner of Maltby is the man in charge. It's quite a blustery afternoon, and the top surface is likely to be a bit slippery as a result of rain for the last hour or so. Stoke City attacking the goal to our left. And that's a fixture which in recent seasons hasn't produced too many goals. One in fact in the last 3 seasons, and that was enough to give Stoke a victory. Here's Robinson for Brighton. That's a good solid run at the start, and the goalkeeper did well. And gets good applause. There's the 21-year-old. Ritchie, nicely taken and played off. Grealish. Ball rather skidding off the damp turf. Graceful, that's a great ball. Just a little bit too long, as it turned out. But how nice to see that sort of pass played, all along the ground, inside the fullback. But it just had too much pace and arrived at the goalkeeper too soon. Hampton. Nodded down by Maguire. Here's O'Callaghan. Perhaps he should have made more of that after a good nod down. Foster was in attendance, but the ball seemed to run away from the centre half. And a bright start with opportunities at either end. Robinson. McNabb, Jimmy Case, Grealish, rather hounded by Watson, Maguire, Sammy McElroy, and a mistake, and a goal by Thomas, a mistake by Foster. So the move building on the left. Sammy McElroy's cross seemed to go underneath the foot of Foster, and Mickey Thomas was the grateful recipient. His 4th goal of the season, scored soon to be enough in the 4th minute of this match. Maybe a moment to draw attention to the fact that in their last 2 league games here, Stoke City have managed 4 goals. Ritchie. McNabb. Maguire. Callaghan, Bracewell, Maguire. Oh, that's good play, and he was held. And in the end, Maguire couldn't give enough venom to the shot, and was denied by Graham Mosley, who'd come in front of his 6-yard line. The referee allowing Maguire the advantage then, because there was no doubt in my mind that Foster grabbed him. Strong elbow from Case. McNabb. Robinson. Foul by Watson. Could be costly for Pearce. Chamberlain. Wants somebody wide, hasn't got anybody, so he had to turn. Still gets it through. Well, that's the best we've seen of him yet. He did well to turn and retrace his steps, and very nearly got Maguire in. It's absolutely teeming with rain. They are well under cover. Watson. Foster. Bracewell. Hampton. Chamberlain. Corner off Pearce. And Maguire has gone to take it. Man who first made his name taking corners for Shrewsbury against Manchester City in the FA Cup a few years back. And he's got another chance now as Case got in the way. He really is one of the best corner takers around. Watson looking for the ball on the far post. Who turned that one away. The wing taking it out a bit. Callahan trying to find some space. Mostly under a lot of pressure, and that's another one. Fourth time lucky. Ball not given. Maguire hit it too strongly. Not as good with a moving ball as he had been with the static one. Thomas. Free kick. Thomas or McElroy. An option of angles. Thomas leaves it. Thomas, met by Foster. Chamberlain, this is a chance. And it's in. The pressure finally pays off. All the corners from Maguire. It severely tested the Brighton defence. Finally the ball came from left across to the right, and there was Chamberlain in space, and he made it count. 3 minutes from half-time, and Stoke finally have a second goal to justify the balance of play of this first half. Chamberlain's third of the season. Foster. Smith. Thomas yet again. Rising to the little man. Callahan. And Thomas ends in possession. And how right that should be so. He, the scorer of the first goal and involved in just about everything that moved. with the second goal coming from Mark Chamberlain after severe pressure and some fine corners by Paul Maguire. So at half-time, Stoke City 2, Brighton 0. I will feel that Stoke have done half the job if they're to keep up their record of scoring 4 times in home matches, which they managed in the last 2. Brighton have only 1 point away from home. That was in their last away performance when they drew at Goodison Park. They haven't severely tested Mark Harrison as yet. Bracewell. Oh, it's a good ball again. Thomas has 2 in the middle, 3 more behind those 2. He's got to beat Stevens first and can't do it. Got the back quick and that's it. McElroy the scorer. And again the corner plays off. Accuracy again. A fine flick on from out of the crowd on the near post, and there was McElroy to knock it in. So 50 minutes gone, and Stoke had 3. And those 3 goals have been conceded by a side who lost 5 at West Bromwich, 4 at Nottingham Forest, and 5 at Luton in earlier matches this season. Thomas, McElroy. Thomas. Hampton. Chamberlain. Well, it was quite clear for what he was aiming. But he got curl from Hampton's cross, but he couldn't get it down for the corner. Bracewell. Parkin. Oh. McElroy to Thomas. Chamberlain. Out by Foster. A super pass by McElroy. The ball fell kindly in midfield. It was swept out to Thomas, who was free on the left. Corner. Canahan couldn't make it work that time as he had before. Quiet. McElroy. Sheer arrogance between McElroy and Thomas. But played with a smile. Grealish. Derek Parkin, still obviously with a lot to offer. Hard they're having to work in midfield, Brighton, to get anything going. Chamberlain. Say this is becoming rather special. Thomas. Hampton. Dodd, the Stoke City substitute. Smith. Bracewell. Some of the first time passing is a real delight. Callahan. Foster with a stretch. Parkin. Bracewell. Maguire. Chamberlain to the right, Maguire to the left. Plenty of options for Chamberlain, including scoring now on right. Well, the goalkeeper did well to deny him, but he did well to try to seize the gap that his runner created. On the touchline with a very bloody leg is Mickey Thomas. You can see the sock there, it's supposed to be white. Barker, the manager, has come down to inspect the damage. Corner is taken. Thomas has to come off, and all around me in the stand people are standing up and applauding. He has given a marvellous performance. And Alan Dodd is the replacement. McNabb. Case. Corner. Chance for the Brighton supporters at the back there to make themselves heard. Hasn't been an easy afternoon for them, or more so for their team. Foster has come forward. Ritchie. News of Mickey Thomas is that he has a nasty cut across the ankle which will need stitches. There's Chamberlain. Picks out Dodd. Gives him another go. Well, that's a good cross and a good save. Bracewell. Slightly caught in two minds, I think. Whether that was to find Chamberlain again or to beat the goalkeeper in his top left corner, I'm not sure. But a great angle that Chamberlain got on the cross then. And Graham Mosley did very well to get a fist at the ball. Smith, just a put in by Dodd. Robinson. Smith. Ritchie. And the opportunity wasted. Harrison and McCourtry. Enough to deny Ritchie after a lot of hard work by Gordon Smith. Hugely enjoyable for Brighton and their supporters. Thomas, the first goal scorer, followed by Chamberlain with the second, and Sammy McElroy with the third. Really fine display by Stoke City, which had moments when it was really quite scintillating. Final score of Stoke City 3, Brighton 0.
I think that Brighton would be the first to testify that Stoke have increased in stature enormously this season, and their First Division rivals would do well to realise that they're no longer there just to make the number up. Good afternoon.